1,427 days. May 7th, 2019.
That's the count of your bad jokes?
No. It's the count of a homecoming.
I see.
Chennai Super Kings last played in their own fortress of Chepauk in 2019. May 7th, the first qualifier, Mumbai Indians versus Chennai Super Kings. They ended with a loss, and since then, they haven't played. 4 years later, with the Chennai faithful in their absolute numbers, Chepauk is going to see Talaiva back. Thala Dhoni back after 4 long years, and today, whatever happens, the result, if it doesn't go Chennai's way, if it goes Chennai's way, at least MS Dhoni is back in his home fortress. You saw what happened when Virat Kohli played in front of his RCB faithful yesterday. Packed audience, absolutely electrifying atmosphere. You saw what Virat Kohli did. Can Dhoni do it today? Because remember, in the first game, Chennai Super Kings versus Gujarat Titans, the bowling underwhelmed big time.
Yes, absolutely. Especially the death bowling. And remember, Chepauk is a different kettle of fish for 2 reasons. Number one, it might be the slowest deck of all the IPL decks that is there. It might be. Second, the conditions will be new for both the teams for a reason. April, normally at this time, it's humid and warm. It's not hot in Chennai. 35 and humid. Humidity remains 12 months of the year. But this time, the heat is not that much in Chennai. And that is why the conditions will be slightly more different than you had. When you play in May, just check out how the conditions will be. There will be tremendous amount of dew. There will be tremendous amount of heat. And I don't think Chennai are playing any day games in this IPL. In Chepauk, all I think they are playing in the night time. But seeing that yellow stands full, seeing the Chennai Super Kings faithful in their big numbers, it is an emotion that cannot be paralleled. And 71% win percentage, among the highest that teams have had in their own fortresses. Delhi have the worst, RCB have the worst, Punjab Kings, they have so many home venues, we don't know which is what. Same with Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah.
Mumbai surprisingly don't have a very good record in their Wankhede fortress.
Exactly.
Just about 60%, but still lower than Chennai. If they have to revive their IPL fortunes, this is the venue. And they won in 2011 primarily because 8 games, they were undefeated there. They have to dig deep and ensure that they do well, because Lucknow Super Giants coming into this game, they have the momentum and they are actually the team that can topple Chennai Super, because last year only meeting Lucknow Super Giants defeated Chennai Super Kings. You will remember that, all of us will remember that. Why? They couldn't defend a total in excess of 200.
Correct.
And it was Chennai's weak bowling that let them down. Same might happen even today.
Well, look at what LSG did in the last match. They were absolutely, not phenomenal, but better than average, actually good. When talking about the batting, that the innings that they displayed, because everyone came in, contributed well. And then talking about Chepauk, it's such a spinner friendly track. I think spinners are going to have the time of their lives bowling here today. But also LSG have got a great spinner in Ravi Bishnoi. Whereas CSK on the other hand did not do that well when it comes to batting. Their batting was very underwhelming, I believe, in the first match, except Dhoni and...
Except I would say Ruturaj.
Ruturaj and Dhoni, of course.
Yeah,
but you can't always count on 2 people to keep your ship afloat.
It is a problem because see, Devon Conway, that is one issue. He also sometimes doesn't tend to start off well. That is one problem. Then you look at it, Ben Stokes. There was one very revealing visual that was there before this match. He was bowling.
Yeah, but he was bowling and warming up in the last match.
Yes.
And he didn't bowl a single over.
Maybe this might be the place where he could be asked to bowl a couple. Maybe. Cutters. Are you going to... It depends now how Chennai Super Kings utilize their impact player. Because in the previous game,
it backfired.
Badly.
I think the teams mostly, so far the dominant trend, it might not happen in one or two instances. The team that wins the toss and bowls, their impact player selections seem to be spot on. It is not so much with the team that bats first.
Because see, you at that stage you don't know whether you have enough runs on the board or not, or whatever score you report. And especially with tracks, let's say Lucknow, let's say that match which took place at the Ikana for the first time, you didn't know about the surface much. So teams batting first anyway will have that, it'll be hard way for them to take that call as to, do I really need a specialist batter to give me that extra 30 runs towards the end? Or let's say if I'm okay finishing with 180, let's say, okay, maybe let's just, I'll give myself a chance, I'll bring in a specialist bowler and then we'll see how things work out. So that's going to be the tricky bit, I feel.
But I think even with Chennai, if you're looking at, and I know today a lot of the discourse is going to be about, a homecoming, first match in 3-4 years. And I understand all of that, but with Chennai, their batting gives me a lot more confidence than their bowling.
Yes.
The bowling has looked porous. It's looked patchy. In fact, I think Chennai and MI, both of these teams have exactly the same problems. The bowling just does not have enough. In fact, the only saving grace for Chennai is that their batting on good days can actually win them games. With Mumbai, even that doubt I have.
Okay, I'll just give the Mumbai.
Very interesting. Again, I think we all had a similar sort of an impression of that Mumbai, or rather the Chennai bowling attack. But contrary to what we believed, Mahendra Singh Dhoni had something else to say altogether. He said that it's the batsmanship that sort of let them down. He felt they were
Last game, yes.
Yes, and then he went ahead and I think they finished with about 180 if I'm not wrong.
77. But that's the thing, that on that
But
pitch, we knew.
He later on, he said that our interpretation was that it's the bowling that let them down to an extent because they didn't have many options. But Dhoni said, I was okay with the bowlers. He said it's the batting that let me down, which was interesting for me because even I am from the same camp that believes that CSK didn't get the job done right at the auction and they don't have a potent enough bowling attack to take them, let's say, all the way. That's what you sort of get to feel at the moment. How much it changes once Theekshana is in, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, Hangargekar and their impact sub, Tushar Deshpande, if Ben Stokes isn't bowling, well,
And that's the thing. I mean, last match, if you realize, even Jadeja didn't have much of an impact. He's arguably one of your key bowlers.
Yes.
Jadeja. There's no Theekshana. You're getting no overs out of Stokes, and you chose not to bowl Moeen. I think that changes today because it's going to be a spinner-friendly track. You're going to see him get a couple of overs at the very least.
See, if I have to look at the Mumbai-Chennai analogy, okay, Mumbai have Jasprit Bumrah, who's out of the IPL, okay.
Yeah.
Who are your other bowling options in that Mumbai Indians lineup? You have got Behrendorff, he struggled. Archer is just coming back from an injury and he's not had that much of cricket.
No.
Bowled with a slightly modified action. So that is another Achilles heel. Beyond them, who? That is the problem. For Chennai, they have options. They can plug the holes. How? If Theekshana comes back after April 8th, because 8th is the last T20I, he can feature on the 10th maybe. That can plug up one power play or a death overs hole. The other most important thing for Chennai Super Kings will be Dwayne Pretorius. If he regains that fitness, your power plays, your death overs is sorted.
And the thing, actually, if you're looking at, you're talking about that analogy, I'd say that both of them have the opposite problems. With MI, you have your impact bowlers. Behrendorff potentially could be that, and we know how dangerous Archer is. But they don't have a support cast.
Yes.
In CSK's case, they have the support cast. But your frontline bowlers aren't good enough because you're not getting overs out of Stokes. Mukesh Chaudhary, I thought could have had a good season this year, but unfortunately injured. So, I don't know. I think with them, let's say their, frontline bowlers are a concern. And if your frontline bowlers aren't good enough, it doesn't matter how good the support cast is if your main actors aren't great.
Because see, the question was posed to Stephen Fleming in the post-match press conference. He always comes for post-match press conferences.
I think at this point, whenever you think of press conferences in CSK, you'll imagine Fleming maybe with a few hairs grey over the years, but he's just been there.
There's one frame that they just showed. 3 of the core CSK team that has been there ever since the beginning. Dhoni, Fleming and Tommy Simsek, the physiotherapist. All of them have been there and they have ensured that Chennai Super
But
Kings
there's
is
one player who used to be there, isn't there anymore.
For the first time in
For the
IPL
first
history.
time in IPL history.
Chinna Thala will not be there.
Yes, 60 games at Chepauk, including, of course, the IPL games and the Champions
CLT20
the
also.
CLT20, yeah. All those games put together make for 60 games for the first time since the inception of T20 cricket in
you really
India.
know how to hurt Chennai Super Kings fans, right?
I'll give you one better. Ruturaj Gaikwad, who's been with the squad for 3 years, is the first time he's playing in the Chepauk. He's never played.
I'd like to what you talked about, that they need someone needs a supporting cast,
Right,
like you
yeah.
talked about. Look at Chennai Super Kings. As of today, we've got a spin friendly track. I think CSK can pull off a win today because they have enough spinners, I believe.
They do.
Look at Mitchell Santner.
Actually, I forgot Santner will be playing.
Yes.
See, you'll have Santner, you'll have Moeen,
You will have
Jadeja.
Yeah.
Maybe if they are bowling second, Prashant Solanki might get a good
Correct.
look in.
The leg spinner.
And it's been, I don't know, another mystery novel. Why Prashant Solanki has never gotten a chance. But that's the problem. Players who warm the bench in Chennai Super Kings,
They just warm the bench.
their careers get destroyed.
Stalled.
Look at Aparjit. Baba Aparjit. 2012, he was one of the stars in that under-19 World Cup. Didn't play for Chennai Super Kings for 3 years. Where is Baba Aparjit now? Struggling in the Tamil Nadu Premier League,
Domestic,
struggling in the
yeah.
domestic circuit. Still not yet cemented a spot. Another missed opportunity to 2012, it's 11 years. Aparjit hasn't played. Indrajit, on the other hand,
Brother, yeah.
got a game with Kolkata Knight Riders.
And was terrible.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I mean, for that matter, someone like a Narayan
Jagadisan,
Jagadisan, a
like
KM
Pujara.
Asif.
Pujara.
Jagadish.
Oh yeah, Pujara.
Cheteshwar Pujara, all that hand clapping happened. Oh, he was picked in the auction because it came after the historic win in Brisbane against Australia.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's where emotion overshadowed logic. You ensured Pujara could not play county, and that set him back. When did he make a comeback? 2022. Only after he got a county stint.
County stint,
Right.
yeah.
And the same is happening with Ajinkya Rane.
Yes.
I think he's been so pushed away from the Indian circuit that now it's messed with his confidence at this point.
It's like a retirement home, yeah, Chennai Super Kings.
No, but two things in case of Ajinkya Rahane. You could argue, yes, he wasn't given as long a rope as others are. But to be honest, he didn't have the numbers. That's one.
Oh,
Yeah.
KL Rahul has won the toss, FY. Very sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to bowl first.
Bowl first.
Me too.
Oh,
You're not
no.
going to be bowling second at the chapter.
Not at the Chepauk. And he knows how crucial the toss is.
Yes.
He knows.
Yes.
No, but then kind of there is a 50-50 in this thing because now the impact player kind of has nullified the conditions of
Look
it.
at it this way. Chennai are going to be bowling second, right? If there's dew, what do you
You
do?
don't have a good seamer.
Because you can't
Exactly.
do...
That's the
Like
problem.
how
Chose to bowl.
many spinners
course.
are you going to send in?
Exactly, because bringing
With a
in
wet ball?
specialist spinner with a wet ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Dew will be immense in Chepauk.
I
Exactly.
think it would have been a vast different scenario if MS Dhoni had won the toss, then the spinners would have.
Oh, then
come in.
100% you would have probably impact playered in a spinner because
Yeah.
last game, remember, they were batting till practically 11.
Now, what you have to hope is it is the Chepauk pitch of the early 2010s. Because what will happen in that is as the game progresses, it becomes difficult to bat.
Exactly,
It
because
becomes
worse.
slow and sluggish.
Yes.
But I don't think it is happening because the pitches in Chennai have undergone a sea change. Ever since 2016, there has been a sea change in that because Dhoni's tactic in Chepauk, what was it? Get the spinners in, control the flow of runs, and we get to a very easy win.
130, 40.
But that's not happening. And this is where Dhoni's template needs to adjust in
Yeah.
that sense. But winning the toss, yes, Lucknow Super Giants, as I had said even before this, they are high on confidence following a win against Delhi. Now having won the toss, their confidence is slightly reached a peak because
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chennai chasing with their batting,
Yeah.
and if you've got the lower middle order that is not firing that much, advantage Lucknow. at
Actually,
this point in time.
more than lower, I'd say the middle because remember, Ambati Raidu looked out of sorts last time around.
Yeah.
So
Got out
and
very
he's
cheaply.
yes, and he's like a linchpin of sorts. Stokes didn't do anything.
So I think your impact player will again have to be a bowler
For Chennai, you mean?
Yes. Yes. It's the same situation. And if they use their impact player well, and that means really well, then only I think they can turn it around.
It also depends on how many runs they'd put on the board.
Yes.
Because if they don't, I think honestly, as you say, nowadays that old Chepauk of where it would become turgid, slow, and impossible to bat doesn't really stay that way. Yes, it might spin a tad, but generally it'll play even throughout. So I think even if it's, and depending on how it's spinning, I think you need anything around the 170 mark.
Yes.
At least.
No, I would go slightly higher than
180?
that. 190.
Oh, okay.
You need a buffer.
Yeah, actually, this bowling does need a buffer. I agree with you.
What I believe is with the batting lineup like CSK, I don't know, you might disagree with it, but it is easier for them to chase than it is to put on a total for this batting lineup.
For Chennai?
Yeah.
Yes, because they know. And someone like a Rituraj.
And it also kind of suits MS Dhoni, chasing.
Yeah,
Of course it does.
He knows what is the template. Again, that template of his is gone. It's buried. 2019 onwards, from 2020, it got buried. Because now, see, what changed from 2020 to 2023? What changed? The bowlers now have figured out a way. You cannot take the game too deep.
Right.
MS Dhoni's template was, even if I need fire one.
And not everyone has the kind of nerve that Mahendra Singh Dhoni has.
I mean, even he also may have the nerve, but does he have the hand-eye coordination or the power or the consistency to be hitting that six every single time? It's not easy.
Speaking of that, we have playing 11s of both the teams.
There is no change in the Chennai Super Kings lineup. Devon Conway, Rituraj Gaikwad, Moeen Ali, Ben Stokes, Ambati Rayudu, Ravindra Jadeja, MS Dhoni, Shivam Dube. Although I don't think Shivam Dube will come that down, maybe he'll come slightly higher. Mitchell Santner, Deepak Chahar, Rajvardhan Hangargekar. But one change in the Lucknow Super Giants lineup. KL Rahul, Kyle Mayers. Mayers was the difference maker last time.
Oh, yes, he was.
Deepak Hooda, Krunal Pandya, Marcus Stoinis, Nicholas Puran, Ayush Badoni, Mark Wood, Ravi Bishnoi, Yash Thakur. Yash Thakur replacing Jaidev Unadkat.
Which I don't think comes as a surprise to anyone.
Yes. And Avesh Khan.
I think since Yash Thakur is from Vidarbha, I think I'm qualified.
Of course, yes.
He's been great, absolutely amazing in the domestic circuit. At one point, I believe he was the highest wicket taker in SMAT and in Vijay Hazare, and you still could not see him feature in these big tournaments for some reason. That was a surprise because to all of us, if someone is doing in the domestic circuit, it is important to get them to the bigger stage at that moment.
Correct.
Because that's going to change all the momentum. That's going to help them grow larger than what they are at the moment.
Absolutely. And I think, is he a left armer as well? No. Okay. I thought they would have replaced left armer with a left armer. But no, I think considering the kind of game
We may have to check that.
We should check that.
We should.
Yeah.
Because I remember Unadkat last time had a torrid outing. So it's no surprise. But
Or maybe.
Unadkat against MS.
No. And again, maybe they don't have a left-hander because of this reason. Supposing bowling in the death, MS will go mad. MS and left-handers.
Yes.
Boss, he's got the advantage. Thala has the advantage.
Exactly. So I think, yes, that's one reason why they've probably not gone for, Unadkat. But by the way, Mark Wood, someone who has played at Chepauk.
One game.
Exactly.
4 overs. I think he'd got 1 for 47, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but then I think the kind of pitch you would have had would not have...
No, he couldn't play much longer because he had an ankle injury.
Oh,
Ruled
right.
out.
Yeah.
At that period of 18 to 20 he had 4 ankle injuries.
He had a spate of
surgeries.
injuries, I
Yes.
remember, which is... Yeah.
Talking about injuries, isn't MS Dhoni's knee also in a bit
Oh
of
yes, I think there's
trouble?
concern over...
Well, he was walking fine. Yes, he was, let's say, walking a bit gingerly after he sort of, went down trying to get that wide ball.
So Stephen
he
Fleming
seemed okay.
So Stephen Fleming gave a clarification of that injury moment. You saw that he was clutching his knee and kind of like walking gingerly. Stephen Fleming clarified in the post-match press conference after the loss to GT that Dhoni had actually suffered a cramp.
Okay.
He is actually, it wasn't the exact area where he got injured. He got a cramp just slightly above it. So he is totally fine. It was kind of a hamstring kind of a cramp that he got. But he is fine. There is no issues. He's totally fit. But that was just a moment of cramp that he had gotten. So there's no fitness.
But I think with Dhoni, considering his age, there'd always be just a little bit of worry that, one bad knock can actually... And this IPL, truth be told, has in fact,
Sure, Imran, can we come back to what MS said? Let's just tell our family members as to what Mahendra Singh Dhoni said at the toss. So he said that yes, of course, it means a lot to be back at the Chepauk. IPL started in 2008, but we've not played a lot of cricket at the Chepauk. Sad, right?
Very.
Yeah. Only about 5-6 seasons that we've played here. This is the first time that the full stadium will be operational.
IJK, that is now fully functional.
That was
And a new stand was also...
that used to be an eyesore when it used to be shut, man.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes, the new stand after the late CM of Tamil Nadu, M. Karunanidhi.
Yes.
It was inaugurated during the India-Australia third
What
ODI.
does that mean as far as the capacity of the stadium is concerned? Do we know?
Close to 60,000.
We'll check that as well as to how loud that can give us an idea as to how loud the Chepauk could be. He further says that he's really glad that we are going to play all our home games at the Chepauk. It really means a lot to him and the franchise. The same squad for the game, and we will be assessing our situation and we'll keep revising our targets, keeping a realistic goal in mind to take it from here. Remember, a losing start for CSK. They'd be hoping for a change in fortunes, and what better place and what better occasion, I would say, than to come back to the home ground after just about 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, see, they played in 2008, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, but then
13? Did they?
Yeah, they did play in 2013 because see but this is the first time they did playing with all the stands operational. 2012 there was a thing in 2012 and 13 what happened was that they were threatened that if you include Sri Lankan players in the playing 11 then you will not be allowed to play in Chepauk. So the compromise at that time was that the Sri Lankan players were left out, Chennai could play at home. So that was the current situation. Then we saw that Chennai were banned for 2 years, 16 and 17, 18. They played one game, but then the Kaveri protests ensured that they couldn't play anymore there. 2019 they played a game, they played all their games there. 2020, 21 and 22, you all know the COVID situation ensured that they could not play. Then that is how I look at it. It's, see, I had the privilege of watching one game at this new Chepauk venue, and it was an IPL game.
Okay.
And incident 2012. It was RCB versus CSK. Obvious. That was the game in which CSK chased down 205. And that Dwayne Bravo 6 of Vinay Kumar. When the runs were scored, the decibel levels that were there at the ground, the cheering and the screaming, it was unbelievable. That's why one has to go for an IPL game at the Chinnaswamy Stadium and at the MA Chidambaram Stadium. You will get to know what passion is. And because both stadiums and the crowds there are knowledgeable about their cricket, it gives it a different edge altogether. It's not as they don't appreciate the slam bang and everything.
Yeah.
They know every moment, they know every instance. That's why I have a huge amount of respect for the RCB fans for this particular purpose. Not for any other things, but for this thing. They know their franchise
I
very
also
well.
respect them a lot because 15 years and that much heartbreak, that takes a lot.
And still be turning up in those numbers.
Exactly, in droves.
Yes, absolutely. So that is the situation that we have for people who are joining us now. Lucknow have won the toss and they have chosen to bowl. No changes in the Chennai Super Kings lineup, but one change in the Lucknow Super Giants lineup, that is Yash Thakur replacing Jaidev Unadkar.
There is one more change that I suspect, surely for the Chennai Super Kings, and that is a change in their impact player this time around. I really don't see them bringing in an impact player during the time that they bowl.
Yes.
Perhaps when it comes down to chasing, maybe that's when their impact player will come in. Have they named their subs yet?
We don't know
We don't know them
those,
yet.
yeah.
Maybe they'll reveal it out soon. But
Yes.
Meanwhile, I'd like to point out that MS Dhoni is only 8 runs away from 5,000 runs
Yes.
in the IPL.
Yes. Thala will, when he gets that milestone, see, when he even came to hold the mic and talk, Ian Bishop just could not hear him. The
Yeah,
noise
it's
level
so
was so
loud.
high. And whenever he hits a 4 or whenever he hits a 6, the decibel levels that were there at the Narendra Modi Stadium was huge when he hit that 6. Here, the roof will be blown off.
In fact, I feel every run coming off his bat, let's say it be a single as well, the stadium will make it sound like a 6 no matter where you go in this country now, I feel.
Exactly.
That day in Ahmedabad was just an example of the Mahendra Singh Dhoni aura in this country.
And with every passing year, and
It's only grown.
it will continue to grow unless and until India does not win an ICC trophy. Because see, now you're realizing the value that MS Dhoni brought as a leader. I just want to let me just highlight the 2013 Champions Trophy final. Your Ishant Sharma was hit all over the park, yet you give him the 19th over, and he got 2 wickets.
Yes.
You give the final over to a spinner.
2 very crucial wickets.
He gave it to a spinner, and Ravichandran Ashwin delivered.
Yes.
Dhoni is like that. He will tell the bowler, "I am backing you. You do your stuff." And remember, he didn't have the bowling resources as Virat Kohli had.
And not just that, to add to the Mahendra Singh Dhoni factor, yes, of course, there are so many youngsters who got the opportunity to make a name and they improved as players, let's say, under Mahendra Singh Dhoni. But also, I think what's added to the stature of Mahendra Singh Dhoni and the love that the nation has for him has been the fact that no other captain has been able to replicate the kind of success that he did. It's this barren run as well which makes us miss Mahendra Singh Dhoni even more.
And see, Chepauk, as I told you guys, even just before the start of this broadcast, I said, why should MS Dhoni not retire in Chepauk? One of the super fans, Hari, you will see him in the broadcast when they show him cheering, the guy who completely comes in yellow. Hari, he said that if he retires in his final game in Chepauk, they will not be able to take it.
But it is happening, we know that, he said it himself.
If it happens, because see, Tamil Nadu, for all its history and all for its local identity and all for their pride in their local culture, they have given people from outside Tamil Nadu even greater love. Just look at Rajnikant. His real name is Shivaji Rao Gaikwad, hailing from Dharwad, from a Marathi-speaking belt in northern Karnataka. Look at MS Dhoni. Look at even MG Ramachandran. He's not a Tamilian. He's a Tamilian but born in Kerala. But look at the impact he made in Tamil politics. That is how we put people from outside the state. If you mingle in and you have that same vibe, they raise you to a different pedestal. Let's forget MS Dhoni. Look at Suresh Raina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kutti Singham, because little tiger, that is what he is, little lion.
Yeah.
The impact that he had for Chennai Super Kings, he's the prime reason why we have won 4 titles. You're missing the impact of Suresh Raina now.
In the middle overs, yes.
You had two players, one very underrated and one a superstar, Suresh Raina, and the other Super Subbu, Subramaniam Badrinath. Badrinath was the anchor. So others could say, okay, we'll take it away from here. And they did.
Correct.
Chennai's 2 wins came because of that duo. No one talks about Super Subbu, but we knew the value of him. But now they will have to really get back to those old days where you have to play smartly, aggressive plus cautious.
Yes.
Dhoni can fulfill that. I somehow think if Dhoni comes at 7, somewhere down the line he's wasting himself. Either he comes in at 4 where he negotiates the middle overs, but the problem that, as Shane has pointed out, his weakness against spin. That is the reason why if he comes to the middle overs, Chennai will go even further back. That's the thing. So let's take some comments, can we? So Alston Menzies is like saying, okay, impact player for CSK, Tushar Deshpande, Dwayne Pretorius, Subranshu Senapati, Sheikh Rashid and Ajinkya Rahane.
Is this confirmed? Because he's named Ayush Badoni in that, and I'm pretty sure Badoni is starting.
Badoni is starting. I think you'll have to change.
Wrong, yeah.
Jaidev Unadkat, Daniel Sams, Prerak Mankad, Amit Mishra. But I think both the teams have named their 4 overseas, right? There is no.
Yeah, but remember that
can be replaced if he gets injured.
Substituted. Also.
Yeah.
That's the other reason.
Yep.
That's why you normally name one foreign player.
Yes.
I think
Dwayne Pretorius, if he's fit, I think should be an addition, but I think he's not fit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to check that. Yes. Also, Akash Bharadwaj, are we sure that Stokes is bowling today? Because I know we saw him bowling in the nets, but that was true in the last game also.
When I saw him right now, just before we joined the our stream here, him take some catches in the deep, and that's all that I didn't see him really have a goal that day. We did see him bowl ahead of the first match, and he didn't end up bowling a single ball.
Yeah.
But bowling in the nets doesn't necessarily
Not a
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That day you still got that impression. I haven't come across a visual yet wherein I could see him bowl.
So maybe what has happened is, see, he was bowling in the side pitches today. Okay, maybe he's had a consultation with the bowling coach. He's saying like, okay, maybe I'm still not full tilt. Maybe I can't bowl. Maybe after that feedback, they have decided not to risk him, because there are always been conflicting reports. Stokes is available for entire IPL, but some are saying he's not available for the entire IPL. So when will Stokes start to bowl? I hope it's not the case of whether the ship has sailed, because if he starts bowling say by 7 or 8 games and CSK are already out of contention, makes no sense. Absolutely makes no sense. So that is why. So okay, Mr. Shaker with a super chat.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Shaker. Sidvi, could you please describe the ODI World Cup qualification scenario for WI and SL? Is there any future series to avoid playing qualifiers?
There's none if I'm not
So I'll just explain.
the
it
last
to you.
one's on. That's it.
So, Mr. Shaker, this is the situation. With South Africa's win yesterday against the Netherlands, they now have 98 points, and it is now ensured that West Indies and Sri Lanka will play the World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe. Okay. There are no further series because the deadline for qualification is May 15. And prior to that, there are only 3 matches that are happening between Ireland and Bangladesh in Chelmsford. If Ireland win all 3 by a massive margin, say by 150, 200 or 175 runs against Bangladesh, then and only then they can topple South Africa. If they do not, then South Africa will be the 8th team. For West Indies and Sri Lanka to qualify as the 9th and the 10th team in the 2023 ODI World Cup, simple, reach the World Cup qualifying final. The finalists become number 9 and number 10. But if either of Sri Lanka or West Indies don't make it, sorry, you're not playing the World Cup this time. I hope I've made it clear.
Very clear.
Yeah. So, Gargi,
Yes.
looking at the situation, okay, you talked about Yash Thakur, you talked about everything else. Do you think Lucknow, because of Mark Wood, 5 wickets, and that too having a decent bit of knowledge about Chepauk conditions, is he going to be the X factor for Lucknow Super Giants?
Mark Wood.
Yes.
I think in the first game also he's proved that he can be the X factor, and today if he keeps the momentum going, I believe he can produce the same effect as he did in the first game of LSG. And looking at CSK's batting lineup, I think in order to counter Mark Wood, you really need Devon Conway and Ben Stokes to go all guns blazing today.
Yep, Stokes in particular, England
Yes.
teammates, they have to do it. And Shane, if suppose we know that Dwayne Pretorius is your impact player, is it going to benefit CSK in the death, or do you think because he's coming off an injury layoff, he's not had that much of cricket in the interim?
Does that question matter? Mainly because I don't think I think what they're playing 4 foreign players, right? So even if Pretorius is there, can he come in?
He can't still come.
He can't.
So the thing is, if Pretorius comes in whenever he's injury free,
I think ideally you'd want to bring him soon.
who does he
Yes.
replace?
That's the real question, because I think unfortunately Santner
Santner.
is the one who'll miss out there.
But if Tikshana comes in, then Santner misses out. But then if you want Pretorius, because you want to shore up that death overs, who will you get in?
Because then you can't drop Stokes either.
Yeah.
You can't drop
And
Stokes. So do you
work
drop
with
Conway?
Tikshana at all times once he's available.
Conway dropping, then who opens? Do you push right
Rahane and
Okay, Rahane, I love the guy, but he was a disaster even last year.
yes, Rahane and Rituraj, or Rayudu Rituraj. But again, Rayudu, I think he's kind of, I don't mean to sound very demeaning, but I think whatever batting position you put him now, I think he will struggle because he's not had that much of cricket in the interim.
True.
Same like MS Dhoni, they haven't had much of cricket in
But
the
we were
interim.
Rahane was playing domestics. He was.
Yeah.
He was playing the T2S, SMAT and all. He was playing for Mumbai.
So why not?
I mean, because last year he was pretty poor in the IPL.
He was.
And he hasn't had a good IPL since maybe 2016-17.
Yeah, that's the
So
problem.
that really counts against him, because and nothing against the guy, wonderful chap, classy cricketer on his day, but I don't think he's suited for T20s anymore.
Yeah, that's the point.
Okay. So Alston Mendes.
No. Let's check the squad, please. I don't know. Like, can we
The
check?
the subs?
Let's
Ah,
just check the subs if we
Oh,
have.
subs. You can check the playing 11 also.
Yeah.
Oh, right. They made that change. Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, there is no Ayush Badoni. Yes.
So they're starting with Krishnappa Gautam this time around. Then.
So Chennai Super Kings, their subs are Tushar Deshpande, Dwayne Pretorius, although Dwayne Pretorius will not come in because they have named all their 4 foreigners.
Yeah.
Shubhranshu Senapati, Sheikh Rashid, and Ajinkya Rane.
See, Ajinkya pretty much ruled out because I think they have enough batting. They'll probably use their.
Maybe you'll have to use.
It probably will be Deshpande again at this point.
Deshpande?
Because it's either otherwise it's Subhranshu Senapati or Sheikh
Is
Rashid.
it not there? No, but see, you want a bowler. There's no Prashant Solanki.
Exactly.
I just have no idea what are they doing.
Yeah, for LSG, I think Badoni could be that impact player then.
He will be.
Unadkat as an impact player makes no
No.
sense. Neither does Dan Sams.
Nah.
Yeah, so I think it might be Badoni only.
It will be Badoni, yeah, because initially they showed a different playing
Yeah, I think they switched it up, right?
Yeah.
There was an issue.
So yes, Ayush Badoni will be your impact player, and again for Chennai, Tushar Deshpande.
You know, it's very interesting. Ayush Badoni being an impact player, I'm again see, but it still doesn't solve that problem of, where to bat who. Who bats where.
Because on this wicket, if it's spinning, Krishnappa Gautam with his off spin.
Could be very useful. No, I think they'll replace him with a bowler. That's fine. They'll take out a bowler and bring in Badoni. But where do you
Yeah.
bat them? Who bats where? That middle order still remains muddled.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe they'll replace.
See, they could bring out Yash Thakur, Avesh
Yash
Khan,
Thakur,
Bishnoi, anyone.
yeah.
None of them are batters.
Yep.
So that's not a problem. The point is again, then because in this team sheet, and I know team sheets should be taken with a grain of salt.
Yep.
But you're batting Deepak Hooda at 3 and Krunal Pandey at 4 again. Krunal Pandey is not a number 4.
Number 4, that's the problem. And same with Shivam Dubey. I think he's batting way down.
No, for that matter, I think even Raidu is batting way down. Ideally, you'd want Raidu to bat at 3 or 4, nothing
Yeah.
lower than that. The problem is that Ben Stokes also is something of an anchor. Moin really is the only one who you can push down and he can go and accelerate from ball 1.
I think if we bring in Ambati Raidu a little,
Earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, of course,
that could
if you
solve problems.
what they could also do is potentially put him to open. Put him and Gaikwad, tell Gaikwad go guns blazing. Then you have one Raidu there, then the middle order sorts itself out. Because
Devon
then you
Conway.
could, but then that means dropping Conway, who's
That's
Conway.
the problem.
Conway, yeah.
See, the real sticking point, if you have to unfortunately look at it, is Devon Conway.
No, you know what? Actually, who the real sticking point is? Sir Benjamin Stokes.
Yeah.
Really, because if he's not bowling,
But if he bowls,
even if he bowls, he'll bowl you 2 overs in the power play.
then if he has an impact, let's just say gets 1-2 wickets.
Then yes, because Ben Stokes, Ben Stokes, the T20 batsman, is not worth 16 crores. Ben Stokes, the 3D player and a potential captain, is worth 16 crores. So if he's not bowling, then boss, you have to maybe take a tough call and say, sorry, we can only play 4 foreign players. Then off to the bench you go.
I mean, look at Ambati Raidu. He looks so uncomfortable when you look at it, between Ben Stokes and Ravindra Jadeja.
Exactly, and they have Shivam Dubey coming in. Last year, Dubey was the number 4.
I think what they can do is send Ambati before Moin.
Yeah, but Moin is the only one who you can realistically push down, because Ben Stokes also something of an anchor in T20s. It's very weird because he's explosive in every other format, but in T20s he gets reserved.
Tests he's played less tests and hit more sixes than any individual on this planet.
This is a man who in Test cricket was reverse sweep slogging Nathan Lyon for sixes.
Yeah.
But he can't do that in T20s, so I don't understand him. So he's also an anchor. Raidu is also an anchor. You have 2 anchors in your middle order, and even someone like Dubey, he's a power hitter, yes, but he also takes his time.
Yeah.
He needs to bat long, then he'll start talking the ball.
Because see, how many left-handers do you have in the Chennai Super Kings lineup?
Conway,
Then Moin, Ben Stokes, Ravindra Jadeja, Dubey, Santner. 6 out of the 11 are left-handers.
Correct.
Now, do you do the sandwich approach? Okay, Conway, Rituraj.
What is this obsession with like bread-related things and making analogies?
Right-handers are getting sandwiched in between the left-handers.
Yeah.
So, Rituraj, Devon Conway, then you have Moin Ali or Shivam Dubey. Either you get Dubey up and put Moeen to number 5.
Yeah.
Because technically Moeen Ali has lot more success at number 5, isn't it? 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So in that way, the sandwich theory works. Then if there is, okay, what was I saying? Sandwich theory indeed. Conway, Rituraj, Shivam Dube. Then your number 4, if you want to space out between Stokes and you may say
Jadeja.
No, not Stokes and Moeen.
Acha, okay.
Get
Has to be
in.
Moeen.
Oh,
Yeah,
let me check that.
Yeah. I think we'll get to that breaking news soon, but yeah, let's see. I would say get Dhoni in. Because Dhoni, I think at number 7 it's a lottery. If he scores, he scores. If he doesn't, he drags the team down.
But I think CSK are okay with that.
Yeah. So Rituraj, Gaikwad and Devon Conway are opening as usual. I think there'll be no change once Tikshana and maybe time for the prediction.
Yes, it actually is.
Yes. He might have. Yep.
Yeah, actually, yes. We'll have to do a little breaking on that.
A
Yeah.
little difficult.
Cool, we'll follow it up with.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's okay.
Yep.
Anyway,
With what?
so Shakib Al Hasan
So-
is totally pulled out of the IPL.
Yeah. So that is the breaking news that we are getting at this point in time. Shakib Al Hasan has opted out of the IPL.
So we'll do a detailed this thing on that. I'll do.
Controversy's favorite child.
Yes, I think that means then KKR might just end up, going in and signing a replacement.
Yes,
Quite
they
likely.
They will. So that is about it. And the prediction that I'm saying, Chennai Super Kings 185. And
Winning, losing.
since it's Chepauk, I'm saying Chennai are winning.
Okay.
I'll go with 173 and Chennai losing.
170 to 175 because I don't see the average score at Chepauk has been 160, around 160. So anything above that is a good score. Also, this is very difficult. LSG has been doing so well, but you put in that factor of the crowd and I think CSK.
Right. So I think we're going to be split again because we're not going to be that split because you picked CSK as well, right?
No.
You picked LSG. Right. So split again because I'm picking LSG to win. I think CSK will get about 171. I think they'll get about 165.
165.
I think so because if they get an early wicket or two, that middle order is muddled.
Muddled, yes. So
And no point asking the man over there looking at us.
No, we know who
very
he's backing.
gleeful about these predictions. Even though it's split, we know where
Shivam's allegiances lie, so it's not that split. 3-2 in favor of LSG. See, I'm even wearing blue. I hope KL Rahul, my orange cap pick, does something good.
yeah.
Oh, he's predicting 158.
158.
Not a bad prediction,
Yeah.
especially if the one or two of the spinners have a good game
Yeah.
on this track. Yes,
But they are missing Tikshana big time.
they're like last year. Remember in the beginning parts he wasn't there. He came in and the power plays became so much better for them.
Absolutely. And he was unplayable for the majority of the initial part that he came.
Yeah.
And he's missing, and they're missing Dwayne Pretorius.
They really are.
No,
Yes.
Pretorius.
Yep.
But again, Pretorius then means you'll have to be asking awkward questions about Ben Stokes. Because Pretorius bowls and bats.
Yes.
Balls and bats. Yep. So that means either Conway sits out or 16 crore Stokes sits out.
Or then maybe what do you call Stokes does
I
what?
just have a feeling the Stokes is, I think that the kind of weight and the kind of stature that he comes with, I don't think he'll be
True,
sort of
but
bench.
let's say. Roy, I'll answer your question on who could be or who I'd want as the replacement.
Because-
we'll do a small video on it.
Yeah, we are coming back very shortly with this latest update on Shakib Al Hasan. What are the reasons why he's opted out? We'll all come to that. So do join us shortly. Enjoy the match and tap that bell icon so when we go live. From all of us here, Nandri, see you in the mid innings.